What is going on? This is your boy Mr. IQ with Let's Talk RCs, Let's Talk Gaming. And today, let's talk RCs. Now today we're going to just do a little recap on the video that I did last time, which was a very long video. So we're going to try to cut this down just a little bit and try to answer a few questions as to why I went with the Maxx opposed to any other rig that I had in the past. So let's talk about it. So why did I go with the Maxx? And for me, it was the size, the cost, and just the upgradability. Not saying that the other ones couldn't be upgraded, but the prices of upgrading those parts were a lot more. So let's talk about it. Me, I've had the X Max, I had the XRT, I had the Sledge, I had the Creighton 6S, had the Outcast 8S. And let's be honest, they were all good, all good. Actually, the Outcast 8S was probably the strongest vehicle I ever had. With that being said, I let my son drive it. As soon as he hit the trigger, it went straight up in the air. He got scared, he panicked. He pulled up on the trigger and it went right into the curve, broke an arm. I never even got to drive it. So I had to fix the arm just off of, before I even really got to drive it. Not saying it was anyone's fault, but the cost to fix that arm, was, it was big at the time for me. So just moving around with parts, and I had the Sledge, like I said, which was an awesome rig. But then I looked under the bottom of it, metal chassis. I don't extreme bash, but any case that I do a big jump in, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they bend chassis. I did not want to do the chassis work, nor did I want to, I didn't want to do chassis work, and I didn't want to buy a new chassis, because chassis, if you buy them off eBay used, like 40 bucks. Buy them new, they can get up to 100 bucks, depending on what kind you go with. So just off of that made it clear to me that the Maxx, for the durability, not saying that nothing else is durable, but for me, I know this platform because I started off with the X Max. X Max was awesome. I had 4 of them. But it was just when I went to go play with them, I had to lug that big thing into a truck. I had to buy 4S batteries. And if you're smart, you'll have 4 4S batteries so you can have double the fun. Because once they shut down on you and slow down with the LiPo batteries, they kind of dwindle down, and once they get low, it'll let you crawl it back to you so you can put it up. But yeah, after that, I kind of slowed down on playing with the cars because it was too much to lug around and play with. So what happened was I got rid of my first Maxx, which was the Maxx 6S, which was a cool vehicle. But as soon as I got that 6S, the 8S came out, and I wanted that 8S. So with that being said, I went hunting for the 8S. So my next 3 X Maxes were 8S. Through buying and trading and selling, I got rid of those 3, and I ended up with the XRT, which to me, hands down, just as big, not as tall, but just as big, even faster than the X Max. I had that XRT. Beautiful rig, but had that for about maybe 3 months. And I just love the monster truck. I love the vibe of the monster truck. So got rid of the XRT. A guy traded me 2 Maxes, version 2s. And that's the first time I ever touched a Maxx, and I was like, man, these are basically like the X Max in a smaller package. If I put my hand on this, it's not that small. It's not that small, but compared to the X Max, it's a baby. So just messing with these, breaking them and fixing them. And I never actually broke a Maxx, but I've always upgraded them. And the price to upgrade them was so cheap, and it was like, man, the cost for an arm on a X Max, I can get the whole set on the Maxx. And so that was one of the deciding factors for me, as well as I can grab 2 Maxes by the wheelie bar and take them to go play with them and run them in the fields and stuff like that. So that to me was like, it was more functional. This even sits on my little table better. So that was one of the deciding factors. I had the Creighton 6S as well as the Sledge. Creighton 6S, fast. I got it when they first came out on sale for $5.99. And I played with it maybe once, and I sold it. And like I said, it was just a new thing on the block that I wanted, and got rid of that quick because, like I said, I'm on the monster. I love the monster truck vibe. Not saying that I won't ever go back to a truggy or something like that, but where I am, they don't have dirt racetracks to enjoy the truggies. We only have hills and mountains. Now, I'm planning on buying a little land and putting racetracks on it and stuff like that. Then I'll go back and get me a truggy, but it probably wouldn't be like an Armor or something. Probably be something like a Kyosho or something like that. But yeah. The parts were cheaper, upgradability across the board, they're all upgradable, but the price to upgrade, the batteries, and being that I had the X Max and I had the batteries, this only needed one 4S battery, and I had 4 of them. I got the quick charger over there, if you can see. So I had plenty of batteries for these babies. So what I did was I always had a spare max for parts. And I had, which on the bottom of my shelf, you can see down here all the parts and stuff I got for this Max. And so I narrowed down to one special Max along with extra parts. Now, if I wanted to buy this, would I buy this new? Would I buy it used? With what I know now, I know how to look at these things and go through them. I would probably buy mine used because the market for these, I don't see paying $600 for one of these. I just can't. The most I ever paid for a Max was maybe $300, and that was tip-top shape, A1. I actually paid $300 for this one with the stock wheels and everything. He also threw in some trenchers, which he got right here. I got right here. So let's talk about what I did to mine, which you've seen on the last video, or maybe you didn't. Check it out if you do. It's a long video, so I'm gonna break it down. Let's move this. This is an X Max engine. No, XRT engine, I'm sorry. This is the XRT engine, which is pretty much the same as the X-Max. But yeah, I got that. Let's put that down there. So what we did on the last video, in case you missed it or it was just too long, we upgraded suspension parts on this. So let's get this lift up so you can see what I did on the back side. All right, let's move that out of the way. We started off with shocks, which these are the original shocks. But I did upgrade the springs. I went from the stock little small springs to some 2.1 millimeter springs, a little bit thicker. So it give you more resistance. I went up with those collars, those arms, upgraded from these plastic ones to some metal ones with a little bit longer length to them to give you less play, which keeps the truck sitting up high. I really wanted that. I upgraded all the bearings, upgraded to new bearings. And if you see right here, I went from your stock bolts, orange bolts and everything, to your 17 millimeter hex bolts. Wrapping that up, I got rid of the stock drive shafts and we went with metal drive shafts. And last but not least, all around the truck, you'll see. Let's go around to the back side. All right, I got some Benedict Harry mounts. This actually lifts the shocks up and give your truck a higher stance. So on top, with all this being done, you got your arms right here. You got your springs and everything. I upgraded the oil to your 90 weight oil. So I upgraded, I don't know if you can see that, but 90 weight oil. And that really just, took this truck and now it takes jumps like it ain't anything. So you don't bottom out ever on this truck. So that's not even an issue anymore. So if you're one of those major jumpers and you have a problem with chassis slap, which I don't, I'm not a avid jumper, but if you have a problem with chassis slaps, do a little bit of suspension work. Now, let's talk about the downsides of the suspension work. You got metal arms, all right? You have to watch the angle of these arms because you will hear this ticking sound, tick, 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 and that's your arms hitting the drive shaft cups. You either have to shave the cups down a little bit so the arm will just miss it and you'll be okay then, or you'll break arms. You'll break drive shafts, if not arms. That's another thing you will have to worry about. With all this tension, all this pressure on those arms, you do run the risk of breaking arms on the backside because once you slam down, the pressure hits the arms. That's not nothing I deal with. It's just something I would mention, okay? I never had that happen. I just thought I'd mention that because there's a lot of pressure right here. Not much. As you can see, I can move it up and down. But that's maybe as far as it's going before, you know, it has a lot of pressure. So that's when you worry about the backside and everything. But other than that, you know, how did I choose the Max? Like I said, I started off with the X Max. So Traxxas I just gravitated to because I went to the Armors and there was way more parts to work on the Armors. Not saying that they were bad to work on, but it was just way more parts. The electronics were a lot better than the Traxxas. I will give you that. The electronic, the servos and everything like that, way better than Traxxas. So I will give them that, which is the reason why later on down the line with this, because this is running stock equipment. As you can see over here, I have a BLX 185. I got an upgraded servo that I had in my old Max, along with the mount that I had in my old Max. 25 tooth servo, 45 kilograms. Last but not least, I'm running a Spectrum motor, 2050 kV. So yeah, this will be going 6S, not necessarily meaning that I'm going to put 6S on it, but it will have the ability to run 6S off of a Spectrum setup. So that will really wake this truck up. So what are my future plans with the video? I may get an X Max. I don't know. I'm not really sure, and because I don't really feel the need to get an X Max and upgrade and do all that, because I won't really play with it because I love this rig. If anything, they classified this as a 1/10 scale, but in the comments, do you think this is a 1/10 scale? Because I want to say it's more close to a 1/9 scale, because when I sit it on the side of my sledge, they're almost the same size. And then when I put it on the side of like a Stampede, that's so-called 1/10, it's bigger than the Stampede. So and the Stampede is also a 1/10 scale car, as well as the Armor Granite. With that being said, my future plans are to get one of those two rigs, the Armor Granite or a Stampede. And I'm going to check Marketplace and, you know, see if I can find me some deals, because that's basically what I like to do. I like to, you know, buy, sell, trade, swap out. My Max stays with me. That's always been a plan of mine. I love the Maxes, so I don't know how much I can say that, but yeah, I swapped out, like I said, we swapped out the trenchers for the regular ones for the trenchers, and I mean, it just sits this truck up super high. I upgraded to I forget what gears. I think it's 2050. I'm running 2050 gears, and I mean, it pops wheelies like it's nothing. I mean, I can be halfway on the trigger, then just press it, it goes up. So 4S is actually enough power for it, but 6S will just, I mean, man, wake it up. So if you have any questions or concerns, just hit me up in that inbox, and man, like, share, subscribe. We're gonna try to keep this thing going. This is a new channel, y'all. Just work with me, and we're gonna keep this thing going. This is Mr. IQ for Let's Talk RCs, Let's Talk Gaming, and today we talked RCs. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.